Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be discussing about a poem written by the great American poet Walt Whitman. The name of the poem, as you can see on the screen, The Voice of the Rain. This poem is also included in the class 11 English textbook, The Hornbill. It is a deeply philosophical poem. Most of the poem written by Walt Whitman deal with the theme of American independence and human body. But here in this poem, in this particular poem, the poet deals with a very delicate theme. The poem is all about the exchange of dialogue between the poet Walt Whitman and the rain. Here, through his poetic words, the poet tries to show the interrelatedness between the process of the rain and artistic creation. He here tries to show that nature and artistic creativity mirrors each other. The rain, through his poetic words, the poet describes the three phases of rain. For example, creation, transformation and return. And interestingly, these are the same phrases that a writer, while creating an artwork or any piece of creation, must pass through. So, let's begin dealing with this beautiful philosophical poem written by the great American poet Walt Whitman. So, in the very first line, the poet begins with a question. The poet writes, "And who art thou?" said I to the soft falling shower. Now, the question itself is very common, but the question is not uncommon, but the thing to which the poet making this question is very uncommon, because here the poet is not asking this particular question to some human or any living thing. Rather, he is asking this question to something which is very uncommon, the soft falling shower. Now, this soft falling shower means the rain. Surprisingly, what is magical about this poem is that surprisingly the voice, the rain replies to the poet. The poet writes, "Which strange to tell gave me an answer." Even for the poet, it is also a matter of surprise, because when he asked the question to the rain, it replied back to the poet. Even he also find it very, very strange. And now, through this poem, he is about to translate the entire conversation between them. The poet, the rain, replied, "I am the poem of earth," said the voice of the rain. The most important thing here is that the poet uses here a literary device. Any guesses? Good. Personification, right? Here the poet uses the literary device personification in this particular sentence. What is personification? Personification is when a writer or a poet gives human voices or human-like characteristic to a non-human being, to a non-human thing. Here the poet gives the human voice to the poet. The voice replies. So the voice replies, "I am the poem of art." Now, why does the rain says that it is the poem of art? Why does it describe itself as the poem of art? So in the next line we are going to uncover its hidden meaning. In the next line, the raindrop describes its journey, how it rises in the form of vapor out of the land and the bottomless sea to the high sky. It says, eternal I rise, impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea. The raindrop eternally, forever, rises, impalpable. Impalpable means what? Impalpable means something which cannot be touched, something which is impossible to touch, right? That means the raindrop forever, eternally, it rises out of the land and the bottomless sea in the form of vapor. Now, interestingly, here also the poet uses a different literary device, especially in this using this particular word, bottomless. Here the poet uses the literary device called hyperbole in this sentence. Here to describe the depth of the sea, the poet uses this particular word bottomless to see how deep is the sea, how deep the sea really is. Next, the raindrop keeps on describing its journey. It says, upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same. It says, when it reaches high in the sky, heaven means the sky, high sky. When it reaches high in the sky, up high to heaven, upward to heaven, when it reaches upward, it changes its form. It changes its form altogether. It changes its form altogether. But yet the same. Yet the same means it, though it changes its form, its very essence, the water remains the same. Right? In the next line, it says, I descend to leave the drops, atomic dust layer of the globe. As soon as it transforms itself to the drop of rain, it descant means what? It hits the earth, it returns back to the earth. And what does it do? It leaves the draft, atoms and dust layer. It cleans. Leave means cleans, wash. It washes away all the dry layers of the earth, all the small particles. Atoms means small particles of the earth. And the dust layer, it cleans, washes away the dust layers covering the earth. Globe means the earth, covering the earth's surface. It washes away, it cleans away. In other words, it purifies the earth. Right? In the next line, and all that in them without me were seas only, latent and unborn. It seems like the rain is very proud. Proudly it says that without it, without the help of the rain, the seeds will remain like seed, latent and unborn. The seed of the ground won't sprout, can never sprout. Without the touch of the rain, the seeds can never sprout. The rain, in other words, works like a catalyst here. It unlocks the hidden potential that is buried deep under the ground. Right? I hope it is clear to you. In the next line, and forever by day and night I gave back life to my own origin. Here the rain says that no matter whether one appreciates its effort or not, it keeps on doing its duty. It is not moved by the words of others. Its duty is not depending upon whether one appreciates its effort or not. but the raindrop keeps on doing its duty. No matter whether it is day or night, it keeps on doing its duty. What is its duty? Its duty is to giving back life. Giving back life to whom? To its own origin. In other words, its duty is to making the earth alive, its origin earth alive, and make pure and beautify it. It purifies the surface of the earth. It purifies the earth as well as it beautifies it. In other words, the whole beauties of the earth is fully depending upon the drops of the rain. It is the artist of the earth. It creates the earth. It brings life out of the land. Right? Now, in the last two lines, the poet makes a deep realization here. Here, the poet is completely talking about his own contemplation. Now, the poet says, for song, issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love returns. That means the way the raindrop emerges from the earth, taking the form of vapor, and then returns back to the earth surface. Just like that, song emerges from the writers, from the poet's innermost core of the heart, and after its fulfillment, it does not remain any artistic song here is representing any kind of artistic creativity, any kind of artistic creations, all kind of artistic creation. As it emerges from the deep bottom of the heart, innermost world of the artist, it, after getting its fulfillment, it does not remain with the creator, rather it travels all around the world. The poet in the next line writes, wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love return. That wrecked means what? Wrecked means appreciation, carrying off, while unwrecked means completely opposite of it. It means not appreciating, ignorance, right? Just like the rain, the artist creativity does not depends upon name, fame or validation, right? Just like the rain, it does not care about, an artist never cares about fame, applause or validation. Main center of attention is the creativity, the creation. The artist, through his act of creation, fulfills the act of creation of the artist. The creation itself fulfills the artist's purpose, right? The creation itself fulfills the purpose of the artist, and this creation returns to the creator's soul with love, right? Now, in this poem, the poet reminds us about what? Reminds us about three main truths. What are they? First is nature and humanity. Both nature and humanity are connected. They are not separate thing. Both nature and humanity are deeply connected to each other. The second is the transformation, which is very, very essential. Just like the raindrop, in order to grow in our life, we must pass through transformation. Transformation is very essential for growth. Next, art is vital for survival. Just like for the physical world survival, the drops of rain is very, very essential. In the same manner, human spirit withers, human spirit dies without poetry and song. The song and poetry works as the raindrops for the human spirit. Human spirit is fully dependent upon what? Fully depends upon poetry and song. So now we are done with this poem. I hope I have made everything clear to all of you. If you like my way of teaching, if you understand whatever I teach, then please like this video and share it among your friends. So thank you for investing your time. Thank you so much.